Hey, Andy here from builderhottub.com. In this video, we're going to look at my top tips for designing a DIY hot tub. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so building a hot tub in your backyard, it's a great project. And on this video, we're going to take a look at my top tips for designing the hot tub. So tip number one, you've got to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, as the saying goes, you plan to fail. So you can't go into this without knowing exactly what you're going to do, all the materials you're going to need, how everything's going to fit together. You really must have a plan. Now, there's loads of information over on my website at builderhottub.com that you can read at your own leisure, and you're able to put all of that together and you can create yourself a plan. If you're looking for a shortcut, I've got a whole bunch of pre-made designs, loads of information, access to my video course. All of that is available in my online store, and I'll put a link underneath this video to that as well. So tip number one is you've got to have a plan for what you're going to do. Now, before we get on to the next one, always a great opportunity for me to say, please do subscribe to the channel, hit that notification icon to be notified when my videos go live. I do 2 long form videos like this every single week, whole bunch of shorts, and everything on my channel focuses on DIY hot tubs, plunge pools, parts, and pretty much everything in between. Okay, so tip number 2, materials. How or what are you going to use to actually build your hot tub? Are you going to use CMU block? Are you going to do concrete forms? Are you going to use ICF blocks? You really need to decide again before you actually go ahead and start anything. This should be part of your plan, but you've got to decide the type of material that you are going to use to build your DIY hot tub. Tip number 3, what type of hot tub are you going to build? Are you going to build a standard one? Or if you've got a view, which kind of comes into the whole location thing as well, are you going to build an infinity hot tub? But you've got to decide before you start. It's not something that you can get halfway through and then change your mind over how it's going to work. Decide the type of hot tub that you're going to build, stick to it. That's definitely one of my top tips. Next tip, the control room. It's so important to get this part right. So the control room itself is where your pumps, your spa pack, blower, all of that good stuff is housed. Where's it going to be? How close is it going to be to the hot tub? That's important. If it's too far away, you need to increase the size of the pipes and the pumps because there's a buildup of head pressure. Even more important, is it going to be above or below the waterline? I've talked about this a lot on this channel and over on my blog at builderhottub.com. If your control room is going to be above the waterline, you're going to need a self-priming pump. If it's below the waterline, you can use a regular hot tub pump, which is a centrifugal pump, and that needs to be fed by gravity. So it is really important, the location, but also the position of the control room. And finally, my top tip on the control room, make it as big as you possibly can. Even this week, I had a customer that was trying to do some work on their blower, and it was so tight in that control room. Bigger is definitely better when it comes to the control room. It makes life so much easier in the future when you're doing kind of repairs or replacements, and even getting in to change the filter. If you've got more space, it's much easier. So as big a control room as makes sense. Staying on the same theme, my next tip is size. How big is your hot tub going to be? Don't make it too big. If it's too big, it's going to take a lot longer to heat. It's going to cost a lot more to heat up. It's going to cost a lot more to run. Only make it as big as you're actually going to need. What's the average size? Well, the average size, certainly with my customer base, and that's over 1,300 of you now, is an 8x8 is the most popular size for a DIY hot tub. So my tip on the size, don't make it too big. And finally, my last tip for designing a DIY hot tub is think about the heating. How are you going to heat it? The heating method is really important because you need to have a heating method that's going to tie in with how you want to use the tub. So for example, if you only want to use it at the weekend and just turn it on a Saturday and jump in 2 hours later, electric isn't going to do it for you. Electric is really slow to heat the hot tub, and it could take several hours. So if you're looking for speed of heat up, then you need to consider something like gas. Along with the speed of heat up, you also need to consider the actual running costs. So if you're going to be heating a body of water on an electric heater, it's going to cost you a small fortune. So you're going to want something that's a bit more powerful. Gas is by far the quickest. Air source heat pump, they, if in the right climate, are extremely efficient. So for example, I've got an air source heat pump on my own hot tub, and it saved me 66% in the running costs. And I've actually got a video on that on my channel. So my final tip is get the heating right that's going to fit the way that you want to use the tub, but also it's not going to break the bank with your running costs. Of course, if I can help you with your DIY hot tub, then please do get in touch. I'm always happy to hear from you. Hopefully you found this short video useful. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. If you've liked this video, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video.